guys, today walked out to this underneath my Jeep, and it turns out that my power steering gearbox is going out on this thing. So right here, if you guys can see it, I guess it's just dripping oil, or power steering fluid I should say. So that is on the to-do list. I just went to O'Reilly's and brand new power steering gearbox is $700. Got this one right here, refurbished, $130. So it's got a lifetime warranty on it, as long as it doesn't get damaged in like a car accident or something. They said if it starts leaking or anything like that, bring it back and they will replace it for free. So that is what we're going to be doing in this video. I am going to be attempting to replace the power steering gearbox on the 87 Hulk Jeep Wrangler. Stay tuned. So here we are under the Jeep. As you guys can see, this thing, it's been a while. I have been driving it around, just making sure the power steering fluid is cool, but it's been leaking. Made a big mess in my driveway. Finally getting to it. I will kind of be filming this as we go along, not step by step. But I'm just going to say what I'm doing. Going to do stuff off camera and then come back to it. But the first thing I'm going to do is remove this nut right here that attaches the pitman arm. That is on this Jeep. Again, I have an 87 YJ, but that's a 33 millimeter nut that you guys are going to need if you're doing this. I went all around town, started at Harbor Freight, they didn't have one. Went to Tractor Supply, they didn't have one. Went to a local True Value store, they didn't have one. Went to AutoZone, they didn't have one. Went to O'Reilly's, they didn't have one. Finally went to AutoZone, and they had a 33. So it was hard to find. Even afterwards, I went to Home Depot just to get some stuff, and I was looking to see if they had one. Everything seemed to go from 32 to 34 or 32 to 36. They did not have the 33 millimeter. Luckily, AutoZone had one. So got the 33 millimeter at AutoZone. First thing I am going to do right now is get that right there, take that nut off, and get started on removing this gearbox. Well, that right there did not work. So I am on my way. I'm going to head over to Harbor Freight, try to get a breaker bar, because I could not for the life of me get that nut to move. That sucker is on there. So I'm gonna be heading to Harbor Freight, go get a 1/2 inch breaker bar and see if that'll do the trick. So just got back from Harbor Freight. Here's my braking bar right here. I'm getting that was $20. And then as I was reading stuff on the forums about this, when I put it back on, I've got to torque it to 185 pounds. The torque wrenches I have do not go that high. This one right here, so I wound up buying this, and it goes up to 300 pounds. You can see that right there. So wound up getting that. This was a 3/4 inch drive though, so wound up getting these adapters so I can take it from 3/4 down to 1/2 inch, because that's what that is right there, is a 1/2 inch. So wound up getting that. Hopefully I don't need to do anything else and I can get going on this. So I'm gonna try to get that nut off now with this breaker bar. We'll see if that works. So the breaker bar worked. Got it off. It's a nut, and then it's got a lock washer goes with it. That's where we took it off. Right there. It's kind of hard to see. Right there. So we got that off. Now the next thing we're going to do is I'm taking this pitman arm puller. Again, I got this at Harbor Freight. I think it was like 15, 16 bucks. I'm going to take this, Got to hook it in right here, and then we got to try to pull this pitman arm off. Just from things that I've read, some people say it comes off super easy, some say it comes off hard, some have had to use a ton of PV blaster, so I'll be back and let you know how it is with mine. Alright, so I just wanted to show you guys, underneath it there's two options that you can use for this. You can either grab a 3/8 ratchet and get it up in there on the end piece here, and you could ratchet it to try to pull it off, or if you wanted to get a socket, you guys can use a 3/4 inch socket, and that will slide up in over the top of it, you know, and then you just plug in, like if you want to use your 1/2 inch or whatever. That's what you guys can use. So you have two different options when dealing with this on how to pull that pitman arm off. Got it off. It wasn't too bad, took me about 5 minutes. So had the clamp hooked up. I would pull it. What I did do is I hooked up my breaker bar to the 1/2 inch because it was a little hard to do it on that. So I hooked up the breaker bar. I would pull it till I really couldn't pull it anymore, and I got the hammer, and I would just hit like right here. Hit it, and then go back to the breaker bar, pull it, got a couple turns on it, and then like after the third try it just popped off. It was pretty cool. So wasn't too hard at all. Got that off. Now I'm gonna go back up in here. As you guys can see that up in there. So that's the next step. I'm gonna go right up in here and I'm gonna remove that. That's where the steering rod, I think that's what it's called, comes down into the gearbox. So I'm gonna remove that. And then we'll get to trying to drop this whole thing out. Alright, so we got that bolt out. That was a 11 millimeter is what you want to use to get that out. So that was 11 mils. Here it is right here. So this is what it looks like after you guys pull it out. Right there. Now, next thing I'm going to do is we got this 5/8. This is what this one is. Fits pretty snug. So up under here, got a couple bolts we need to pull out. Focus in. This bolt right here, this bolt right here. So I'm going to pull out those two bolts. There may be another one somewhere, but I'm starting out with those two. Those are 5/8. Slides on, this might fit. So I'm going to pull those two out first. I've got a jack set up to catch the gearbox when it comes down. If there is a third bolt, I will be back to let you know. Okay, so we removed these two bolts. They are right there. That's what they look like. I did have to remove this one up here, right here, because I couldn't get my ratchet in to that. So I removed that bolt. That's that bolt right down there. Okay, and then there is a third one. I think this one's going to be super long, but it is actually on the frame. It's this bolt right here. Because there is two more things that I have to unscrew, and that is basically the lines coming from the power steering box or the pump. So we have the pump right here, and then I got the lines coming from down here. So we got these two lines right here. They wrap around, and then those two lines go down to the bottom into the pump. Basically, if you guys can see, this back right here, those two areas right there. So I might try to unscrew those right now before dropping the pump, but we got to take those out, and then once we take those two out, I'm going to drop not the pump, the gearbox. So once we get those two out, I'm going to try to drop this gearbox. Let's see how it works. So I've been trying to get this thing off, and I think mine is a 4 bolt, not a 3 bolt. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one off too. I've been yanking on this stupid thing, trying to get it off. The one I bought right there only has 3 bolts. This one, I'm assuming this is hooked up to it too. So I'm gonna take this one off and see if it is actually a 4 bolt, like a 4 mount. If that's the case, O'Reilly's gave me the wrong piece. I'm gonna have to take that back. So we shall see right now. I'm gonna unhook that and see if this thing drops out. Alrighty, so that bolt did let me drop it out. So there is 4 on this one. So you can see it's sitting down on the jack now. As soon as I popped that bolt out, it just came out easy, which I'm fairly glad about. So now I am going to take the pieces off up top, but here's the bolts. So we got 2 long ones, we got the 2 shorter ones. So it is a 4 mount. Like I said, the thing I got at O'Reilly's over there, that was a 3 mount. I'm taking that back. I did look online on their website. There is a 4 mount. So hopefully I can get in there and order that today and get it. So I'm just gonna finish taking this piece off, or this gearbox off. I do have to take those things off up top. So you can see part of them coming down right there. That's part of the unit, comes down right on top up there. I couldn't get it from the top, I tried to, so hopefully I'm gonna lower this a little bit and be able to unscrew it from underneath. Alright, finally got this thing off. It was a pain in the butt. This right here, I finally just had to cut the hose. This nut was just all stripped up. I don't know if you see it, that right there. I mean, it was just all stripped up. I couldn't get, like every time I put my wrench on it, it was just sliding. It wouldn't come out. The other one did, which is that hole right there. That one came out fine. This one was all stripped up. So, I mean, I was messing around with it for like an hour, hitting it with PB Blaster. Nothing helped. So I just wound up saying screw it, and I cut the hose off. So I'm gonna have to get a new hose and everything, and then probably get a new one of these pieces if I can't like replace that nut. I mean, I don't know how that works. I'll probably just need to get this whole new arm right here. So yeah, that's what it looks like coming off. So now I gotta take that one back to O'Reilly's and tell them to give me one that has 4 mounting points and not just 3. So I would kind of check, if you guys are doing this to your Jeep, check and see, you know, whether you have 3 mounting points or 4, because they are different. There's some YJs that have 3, there are some YJs that have 4. I got one of those books, the Chilton books, and it has in there, it says it's a 3-point or 3 mount thing. So just check and see on your old one before you order. Alrighty, fellas. You guys won't know watching this because it's going to happen right after. But when I last got done talking, I had just taken this off the Jeep. I said that I had to go back to O'Reilly's to get the 4 mount power steering gearbox instead of the 3. So I went back, they went to order it. At the same time, turns out they have one of these. It is all one piece, which is pretty cool. Didn't know that. So this piece that I had to cut right here, it is all just one piece, metal, all that stuff. So I'm gonna be screwing that in. So wound up ordering that. They told me they were gonna order the box, and told me that when I come back to pick that up, they'll let me know when the box will be coming in. So went to get that, and then they wound up telling me that they were out of stock and they weren't able to get it. So then I had to go online to find a new one. What happened, I recommend, there was a website I found, it's called deadjeep.com. See right here is Dead Jeep, but the guy basically, I guess he strips Jeeps down. Jeeps that are no longer running, takes parts off them. Wound up getting this for, I want to say $70, which is way cheaper, but it is a used one. It's not even refurbished. It's just a used power steering gearbox that was pulled off of a different Jeep. And just to give you a time frame, that last video, or the last segment, if you want to call it, was May 27th, and we are now June 9th. So it's been sitting for a couple weeks now, waiting to get this piece in right here. It was supposed to be a 3-day mail, which I can't fault the guy for it, but it somehow got messed up in shipping. It got sent somewhere else and then came back to me. It was supposed to show up last Thursday. Today is Tuesday, so it was like an extra 5 days before it actually got to me. So I'm gonna open this up right now, and then I'll set it side by side with the old one so we can see, and hopefully they match up. Alrighty, got it opened up. So there's the new one right there. There's the old one. So yeah, hopefully it works, but it looks good. I mean, it does look like it was sprayed with something. Looks like it was, again, I'm not a mechanic, and I'm sure something was put on it. As you guys can see this, it's kind of chipping off right there, but for the most part, it looks good. Just hopefully it works. Freaking Jeep's been sitting here for 2 weeks. I haven't been able to drive it. I want to drive it, so hopefully get this on it, get it all put back together. If you guys are watching, you'll see a video too. I'm in the process of doing the airbox at the exact same time as doing this. So I figured since it wasn't drivable, I'd take care of the airbox as well. So you're gonna see that video up on the channel as well. So yeah, I'm doing it all right now. So let me see if I can get this thing mounted up, and we will be back. Alrighty, got the new Power Steering Gearbox in there. So you guys can see I do still have to put a screw. It's the screw right there. I gotta put that down in the top over here. If you guys can see that hole, that hole right there. But anyways, yeah, I gotta put that screw in to tighten that down. But other than that, it went in pretty good. It was a pain in the butt. I had my daughter in here, and I was laying underneath trying to get this thing up. That was probably the most difficult part, was getting it up into that, I don't know if you call it a steering rod or whatever. That was the most difficult part. And then once having it up in there, actually getting the screws to line up over here, because that thing, you know, you have to wiggle it around, but to get these screws over here to line up, these 4, so you got these 2 up top that we had to screw in, this one, and these 2 down here and here. That was a pain as well. So I mean, after getting it into that steering rod, doing that, as you guys can see, there's one more thing I have to do. So it does have the new, I mean, it came with the pitman arm on it. So I'm just debating. I don't know what's going to be easier, if I should take this pitman arm off and then put my old one on, or leave this pitman arm on and then just connect it, like pop this one off back here and slide this one up into it. I'm not sure what will be easier to do. So I'm going to kind of look at that and see what I decide to do, and I will be back once I figure that out. As you can see, I just thought it'd be easier to use the pitman arm that came on it. Once I get driving this thing, we'll see if that was a good decision or not. But I just popped this screw off right here, unscrewed that apart, lifted that off, and then I had to use the pitman arm puller again. I just wrapped that around the sides here and pulled that thing off. So got that pulled off, got the new one put on, tightened down. Hopefully it works. Just with the way this is all gunked up and stuff, like, I thought it would just be too hard to pull this pitman arm off. So yeah. So there was my power steering project on the Jeep, my 87 Hulk. So you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you guys want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. I am, like I said, this is more video documentation for myself as I go through doing stuff to this Jeep. And I'm just posting it here kind of as a help video as well, although I'm not going step by step through stuff, showing how to do everything, but I'm semi doing that. So, if you guys want to get more updates on the Jeep, what I do to it, hit that subscribe button and you'll be alerted. Other than that, everybody take care. Later.